Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, Clarendon Police renew call for public support in locating robbery rape suspects. The Clarendon Police are renewing their call for the public support in locating a man accused of committing a series of robberies and rapes in the parish. The unidentified man, who is seen in a series of photos shared by the police, has been linked to 11 robberies and a series of rapes, with the most recent rape incident occurring on Wednesday. The suspect is considered armed and dangerous. Any information can be passed on to the police emergency at 119, Crime Stop at 811, or the Mapen Police Station at 876-832-2077. Woman loses $130,000 after bank details stolen at a workplace. In a case marked by calculated deceit and financial betrayal, 25-year-old Sharika White stood before the St. James Parish Court on Wednesday, charged with 15 counts of simple larceny and 4 counts of breaching the Cybercrimes Act. The court heard that on May 2, the complainant, a co-worker, discovered her bank account had been drained by 15 unauthorized transactions totaling $130,000, all payments made through the PayPal portal to an online store. Investigations quickly pointed to White as the culprit. When questioned by presiding judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton about how she obtained the complainant's banking information, White admitted that she accessed the complainant's locker during her lunch break and photographed the details, which she then used to make the fraudulent purchases. She stated that her intention was to sell the items. She then told the court, "I never did anything like this before." White said financial hardship had driven her actions. She also claimed that the complainant contacted her via email, urging her to cancel the orders before the police got involved. According to White, she complied. PayPal confirmed that the complainant was refunded and the items in question were never shipped. However, the complainant denied having received any refund. Judge Fairclough Hilton challenged White's defense, stating, "You said you never did anything like that before, but you calculated everything you were going to do." Given how the theft severely affected the complainant's financial stability, while the defendant appeared to benefit materially, the judge, highlighting the injustice, addressed the defendant directly. "So she must be $130,000 poorer, and you must be richer because you are not financially where you want to be," the judge said. A social inquiry report has been ordered to guide his sentencing, which is scheduled for July 2. Meanwhile, White's bail was extended. Mland watched Indiccom collect bloodstained drapes and cushions. A crime scene examiner employed to the Independent Commission of Investigations testified Thursday that on July 28, 2022, Constable Noel Maitland watched as members of his team secured the bloodstained drapes and a cushion from his Chelsea Manor apartment in New Kingston, St. Andrew. Maitland is charged with murder and preventing the lawful burial of a corpse following the disappearance of his 24-year-old girlfriend, Donnelly Donaldson, in July 2022. Donaldson was last seen at the Chelsea Manor apartment complex. Based on circumstantial evidence, including blood found on drapes, prosecutors theorized that she was killed between July 12 and 13, 2022, inside Maitland's apartment. They also believe that her body was unlawfully disposed of thereafter. At about 2 p.m. on July 28, 2022, I proceeded to an apartment at the Chelsea Manor. I was not alone. There were several people there from Indiccom, from the forensic lab, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and also Mr. Mland was present on that day at the location at that time. At about 1:59 p.m. when I arrived, I began my visual examination to include the yard area, stairway, steps, and the passageways for the northern block, identified as Block A. I also conducted a visual examination of the apartment located on Block A. Mr. Mland was inside the apartment around the dining table area. Inside of the apartment, I observed several stains resembling blood on a pair of brown drapes on the northern wall of the living room. There were also some markings on the wall to the left of the living room, which is the western wall in the apartment. I also observed additional stains on a cream-colored cushion cover, which was on top of a barrel at the northern wall where the curtains were in the living room. After my observations, I took several photographs, he explained during examination in chief, pointing out that he took steps to secure the items before later taking them to the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine to be examined for DNA evidence. After visiting the scene at Chelsea Manor, the crime scene examiner went to the Halfway Tree police station where he conducted an examination of a cream-colored Toyota pickup truck. The pickup truck had yellow crime scene tape wrapped around it. The rear car door area of the truck was covered with a blue tarpaulin. There were additional items observed in the rear cargo area of the pickup truck after I took the initial photographs using the Indiccom issued Nikon camera. There were several items in the rear of the pickup truck. Other than that, there were no stains resembling blood on the truck. The driver was standing near the pickup truck observing the processing, he said. The matter was adjourned until July 7, 2025, as there are a number of administrative issues to sort out in the case. Sissoka lists 2 St. Andrew women as persons of interest. 2 St. Andrew women have been listed as persons of interest by detectives assigned to the Center for Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse. They have been identified as 20-year-old Britannia Gallimore and Corona Gallimore, both of Unity District, Lawrence Tavern, St. Andrew. It is believed that the women can assist the detectives with an ongoing investigation. They are asked to report to the Sissoka office in Kingston at 6 Upper Musgrave Avenue. Anyone who knows the whereabouts of Britannia and Corona is being asked to contact Sissoka at 876-926-4079 or 224-5352 or the nearest police station. Driver who fell asleep and crashed into car on Mandela Highway fined $150,000. A 56-year-old motorist who fell asleep while driving along the Mandela Highway and crashed into a parked car, injuring the driver, was on Thursday fined $150,000 or 3 months imprisonment in the St. Catherine Parish Court. Vernon Nesbeth was charged with dangerous driving, but his attorney Charles Williams made a mitigation submission. Nesbeth subsequently pleaded guilty to the lesser offense of careless driving with a collision. Nesbeth was told that the maximum fine is $500,000. However, Senior Parish Court Judge Desiree Allain imposed a fine of $150,000 or 3 months imprisonment plus 10 demerit points from his driver's license. Facts outlined by the clerk of courts are that about 2 p.m. on February 26, 2025, Nesbeth was driving a Suzuki Grand Vitara sports utility vehicle along the highway when, upon reaching a section of the roadway, he fell asleep and ran off the road. His vehicle slammed into a parked Honda Fit motor car, injuring the driver. An investigation was conducted by the police and Nesbeth was charged with dangerous driving. Opposition considering legal challenge against the Chung's FID appointment. The parliamentary opposition has indicated that it could file a legal challenge to the controversial appointment of Dennis Chung as the new Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division. Mr. Chung's surprise appointment, which was announced Wednesday, comes into effect on Monday, June 2. Speaking at a press conference on Thursday afternoon, People's National Party President and opposition leader Mark Golding argued that Mr. Chung is unfit for the post and his appointment should be immediately rescinded by the government. Mr. Golding said the opposition is against the appointment because Mr. Chung has made public comments defending Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who is under investigation by the FID for alleged illicit enrichment.
He is somebody who has already publicly stated positions in relation to the matters that the FID ought to be investigating, which are strongly in favor of the Prime Minister and which seek to undermine or belittle the impact and importance of the findings that the Integrity Commission has made on the matters that they investigated as set out in the report they sent to Parliament. He has commented on the 28 bank accounts operated by the Prime Minister and his companies, on the volume of funds that have flowed through those accounts over the period of the investigation in excess of $470 million. On each of these matters, he publicly sought to take a position that's led to the impression that there was nothing amiss, there's no case to answer, everything is above board. In terms of a legal angle, that's something that we're considering. We haven't had time yet to definitively come to a position on that, but certainly it's something we're exploring. And in terms of actions on the ground, you will see in due course what we have in mind. If the government decides to pursue this and continue on this path, which is essentially contaminating the Financial Investigations Division, which is the institution in Jamaica that is internationally the liaison when it comes to anti-money laundering, anti-terrorist financing, and fighting financial crimes generally. And you'll be hearing more from us if the government doesn't do the right thing, or indeed if Dennis himself doesn't do the right thing and step away from this appointment.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.